This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News.
March Madness is over and the results are in, but how do you choose a winning bracket? We found out some tips and tricks from area students.
Concordia bands battle it out on stage. We'll tell you what it takes to come out on top.
A Native American tradition dances its way across Nemzik Fieldhouse.
But first, an assault inside a dorm at Concordia College. We'll tell you how students are reacting to the attack.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Veronica Utek.
And I'm Benjamin Reiki.
Police are investigating 3 men who assaulted a Concordia student inside of a dorm room with brass knuckles.
I went to Concordia's campus and spoke with students who say they're surprised something like this happened on their quiet campus.
This is the first time I can remember somebody actually being physically assaulted in a dorm.
Students at Concordia College don't remember anything like this happening before.
It's all the more serious since it happened on such a safe campus. So it's understandable that it's such a shock.
Police say the assault occurred here at Concordia College campus inside of Erickson Hall on Wednesday, March 22nd, behind closed doors with no witnesses. The victim was taken to Sanford Medical Center and treated for head and face injuries. Authorities say brass knuckles might have been used. Police are investigating 3 men in connection to the assault.
As far as I can remember, I mean, there have been some, here and there kind of strange occurrences, either like strangers showing up in a dorm.
But strangers weren't involved in this crime. The victim knew at least one of his attackers. So far, no names have been released.
There's too much information that we're not even to speak of to talk about whether, what exactly did happen. There's obviously always going to be 2 sides to an incident, particularly in this isolated incident.
The police are working with Concordia in the investigation.
So we recognize that when we work with allegations of crimes that happen on campus, there's always the potential of sanctions that happen for anyone that's a student there.
While the assault is a reminder to students to be careful on campus, they say they trust the college to protect them.
Yeah, I feel Concordia is tremendously safe in general. They do a very good job with public safety and just making students feel safe as well.
As of now, police have not released an update on the victim's condition or a motive for why he was attacked in the first place. If charged and convicted with felony assault, the 3 men being investigated could face up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
A Senate bill passing through the North Dakota State Legislature could expand the borders of jurisdiction for campus police. Reporter Anthony Fridgen spoke with officials about the effects the bill would have on students.
Senate Bill 2193, if passed, would expand NDSU police jurisdiction.
Now, what exactly does this entail? I'm currently standing at the security building, and just right across the street where one of the campus fraternities are, NDSU campus police don't have jurisdiction over that area. So that can cause quite a confusion.
The bill would create a joint power agreement between Fargo and University Police.
Really, the bill is just explaining that we are able to go into joint powers agreement with them, for instance, so that we can take some of the areas on University, 12, those kind of locations where our police are already driving a lot of the times. And it's just really to enhance the safety here at NDSU for our students.
Training for University Police and Fargo Police is actually very similar.
We all are North Dakota Post certified. I actually attended academy with some of the Fargo lieutenants that are currently the lieutenants for them. So we train together. The University Police is like any other police department. We have the same responsibilities. So.
Representative Jake Bloom, who helped introduce the bill on the House floor, explains why he supported the bill.
Allows the police now to respond within their newly designated perimeter to emergency situations within a 1 to 2 minute window, possibly even sooner than that, as opposed to relying on municipal police, which could take 10 minutes. Or public safety, it'll be very positive for students and those who work on campus and travel to and from.
The bill is already unanimously passed through the Senate and the House and will now move to the governor's desk. Representative Bloom is confident Governor Burgum will sign this bill. With photographer Adam Pope, Anthony Fridgen, Campus News.
The bill has support from both Republicans, Democrats, and the North Dakota legislature.
What started as an effort to get students informed about the Constitution ended in a lawsuit. Pierce College student Kevin Shaw is suing Los Angeles Community College for stopping him from handing out copies of the U.S. Constitution on campus. School officials say they stopped the 27-year-old because he wasn't in the school's assigned free speech zone, which is the size of about 3 parking spaces. Although the college had no further comment on the lawsuit, they say they firmly stand behind every student's right to free expression.
The Trump administration is planning a possible cut of a federal grant that helps low-income students pay for college. The Pell Grant has been around since the 1960s. It is the largest grant the federal government gives to students in schools. The grant aids students who need financial support to go to universities around the United States. Students at MSUM say the possible cut could really hurt their ability to attend college.
Without the Pell Grant, I might not necessarily be where I'm at today because I would have no way of really paying for college because I'm already taking the max out on everything else.
Yeah, without financial aid, student debt is just going to increase, or access and availability of education is going to be limited. And we cannot limit our educational opportunities for lack of funding.
Nothing has been decided yet on the fate of the grant, but students are encouraged to contact their state representatives to voice their opinions. Students that apply for financial aid already know how hard the application process is. Now it's getting harder. Starting next year, students applying for federal student aid, also known as FAFSA, will have to manually put in their tax information. FAFSA used the Internal Revenue Service data retrieval tool to streamline the process. But because of hackers, FAFSA is forced to close the tool temporarily. FAFSA gives out $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funding each year.
A standard computer keyboard has anywhere between 84 and 101 keys. Reporter Zach Hoffner brings you to the Union, where students are doing something other than typing.
Students gathered for a competition that nobody we spoke with had ever seen before. One so unique that I have to let competition organizer Charles Crandall explain.
I just thought that it'd be fun to tear apart a computer keyboard.
So they did just that.
Then I thought, well, why don't we put it back together too?
And then they did that.
Why don't we test each other to see who can put it back together quickest? And then it just kept going.
And kept going it did. With over 12 participants, it was a bigger turnout than Charles expected. The prizes, however, weren't the only reason students got together for the competition.
Overall, in general, it's a good feeling, just to release a little bit stress, all the assignments, homework and stuff. So it's good to just let it all go and just play with a keyboard.
Events like this mean a little more than just messing around with a keyboard.
It kind of reminds you how you can piece up your life back together after it gets spread around. So it's kind of like that feeling you know where all the parts are and you can just put it back all into place.
So for students like Kwan, an event that may seem a bit laughable can hold the key to some valuable life lessons. With photographer Veronica Utek, Zach Hoffner, Campus News.
Although this was the first competition of sorts around campus, Crandall says with such a solid turnout, it will happen again. College students are known for living through the internet, especially when it comes to dating. But one dating app may not actually be for dating. Lend.edu conducted a survey with college students about the popular dating app Tinder. The study shows 72% of millennials say they have never actually met one of their matches in person. The survey also showed 44% of millennials use Tinder for a boost of confidence or to procrastinate. Less than 5% of people say they actually look for a relationship online.
College students may be able to save some money on cable bills thanks to one wireless carrier's new plan. Verizon Wireless plans to launch a new package that will give users multiple TV channels online. Verizon is joining the cord-cutting trend and trying to get people to ditch a regular cable for an online version. The company has not yet set a release date.
A 300-pound tiger is helping the University of Minnesota Veterinary Clinic make history. U of M doctors performed emergency surgery on the 13-year-old Bengal tiger named Pandora. She was rescued from a roadside zoo where people could pay to play with her and take pictures. For 3 to 4 hours, she had to be sedated while doctors spayed her. Pandora is expected to live a long, healthy life at the Wildcat Sanctuary.
At Minnesota State University Moorhead, the planetarium is giving people a front row seat to a rare solar event.
Reporter Tyler Ziegler brings us on an astronomical joyride.
Hidden in the back hallways of Bridges Hall, you can find the planetarium.
The planetarium is kind of a hidden gem.
Also hidden back there is planetarium director Sarah Schultz.
I kind of run the show.
She's the boss.
The whole show.
The show she is referring to usually gives people an immersive look into outer space. But right now, it's educating people on one of nature's greatest phenomena.
The solar eclipse is when the moon comes between the Earth and the sun.
Right now is the perfect time to learn about this because a solar eclipse will be hitting the continental United States come August.
So it's been almost 40 years since we had one in North America.
The importance of the eclipse cannot be stressed enough.
The eclipse is a life-changing event. It is pretty much the most spectacular thing that nature can show you.
If you want to witness the eclipse, there are some important safety measures you must take first. In order to view a total eclipse of the sun, you need to have glasses like these. The planetarium sells these eclipse shades for only $1. Not only is Sarah teaching people about the eclipse,
You know Saturn? Saturn's pretty cool.
but since this is such a rare event,
I will not be missing it, for sure.
and she will have her eclipse shades with her. With photographer Branson Reeser, Tyler Ziegler, Campus News.
A partial view of the eclipse will be visible in Minnesota and North Dakota on August 21st. The planetarium is offering any information on the eclipse to people interested. Randolph College is getting students and an entire community engaged in science. The Science Festival of Central Virginia hosts events like the 3.14-mile Pi Run and the American Ninja Scientist, an obstacle course with science-themed challenges for students and faculty alike. The event started over 10 years ago and has now become a week-long event. The college is even bringing in local K-12 students to help bring science to the younger generation.
In front of TV personality Al Roker and 4 million viewers of The Today Show, hundreds of students at Loyola University in Maryland broke a Guinness World Record. 494 students joined together and crab walked for 2 full minutes. This broke the previous record of 376 people set by Northwestern University last September. The university and its 6,000 students spent weeks preparing for the event. It was Al Roker's 4th stop on a tour of college campuses attempting to break world records.
College students around the country are living on a prayer in hopes Bon Jovi crashes their graduation. The band announced a contest on Good Morning America where the winning school will hear them rock out a new song called Reunion. To enter, tweet out pictures of the best times in college and use the hashtag JBJReunion contest. The winning college will be announced in the first week of May.
It takes years of experience for musicians to make a name for themselves. Reporter Jacob Ambrose shows us how Concordia College students in Moorhead are using a local band competition to get a jump start on their music careers.
Concordia's 8th annual Battle of the Bands kicked off at Knutson Hall. The students showed their enthusiasm by packing the place and moving their bodies.
Such an incredible thing that Concordia does to be able to give its students the opportunity to pick who they want to perform instead of just picking for them.
Battle of the Bands does more than just showcase the instrumental and vocal talent at Concordia. Students used a new electronic voting system to choose PG-13 as the winner. Their reward? An opening act for Reliant K at this year's Cornstalk Music Festival.
It was just a blast, just performing for my friends and see them in the audience, kind of like cheering me on. So then it kind of made me want to perform for them and kind of look at them in the audience and to dance it out.
The competition was part of the closing ceremonies of a day-long event raising money for Sanford's Children's Hospital.
This money is actually going somewhere where it can help people that need it and kind of get them involved with the community.
After raising more than $23,000 during the dance marathon, organizers felt confident that they had done something special.
I knew that they've done a lot of fundraising, but it was just amazing to see those final numbers, and it like almost brought me to tears because it was so awesome to see what the impact of all these people could do.
With photographer Robin Rohde, Jacob Ambrose, Campus News.
The Cornstalk Music Festival will be held at Concordia April 29th in the Memorial Auditorium. And just down the street from Concordia, a group of MSUM Moorhead students spent hours on the dance floor, but it was about more than just having fun.
Reporter Yarvo Brown shows us how Busting a Move brought students together while raising money for young children facing big challenges.
At first glance, Evan looks like a regular kid, but there is more to him than the eye can see.
I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 2.5. When I was being treated for leukemia, I spent a lot of time in the hospital.
This is the reason why the student organization called Ostara hosted MSUM's first dance marathon.
Everything you raise goes to little kids right in our neck of the woods.
The group works closely with the Children's Miracle Network to raise funds and awareness to help hospitals in our communities.
The donations that you do make are actually making a difference to somebody who might live next door or down the street from you. It makes that bigger of a difference, so it's really cool.
Students have a lot of activities to choose from to show their support. One being hand painting. Students come, choose a color, paint their hand, and one of the cool activities the event had students participating in was Zumba, to let students move their feet to the beat.
To me, it's really nice for the college students to be able to see some kids and some families that were directly affected.
It's great to see all these people and to hear their stories. I didn't know that they were going to tell stories, so it really makes it more impactful.
At the end of the night, the coordinators of this event were glad to show they had raised more than they had thought of. With photographer Anna Sandmeyer, Yarva Brown, Campus News.
If you would like to donate to the Miracle Network's Dance Marathon, you can visit its website at events.dancemarathon.com. And now we turn it over to Haley Foster for a look at this week's sports.
So Haley, it looks like even I might have a chance of getting a good March Madness bracket.
You know, Veronica, I think you would. I have a friend who chooses based solely off of cat logos or cat mascots, and she did pretty well too, so I'd say you'd have a solid chance. The odds of choosing a perfect NCAA bracket for someone selecting the winners at random, like flipping a coin, are about 1 in 9.2 quintillion. The odds of being struck by lightning in a given year are 1 in 1,042,000. Just let that sink in. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning than you do picking a perfect bracket. March Madness is over, but basketball fans are still mourning over their team's losses unless they're one of the lucky few who actually managed to choose a winning bracket. I caught up with 2 MSUM students who've had very different experiences this season. College basketball fans are feeling the heat in more ways than one.
Let's give Duke a lot. Oh yeah. Oh.
The beginning of April means one thing. The madness of March has come to a close, and this year seemed to have more mayhem than most, with busted brackets and shattered expectations on a nationwide scale.
It just didn't pan out this year. My bracket sucks.
But die-hard sports fans aren't the only ones throwing their team's hat into the ring.
I'm taking John Webb King's sports promotion class, and he has a prize if you win.
Because March Madness brackets are typically filled out for competition, many participants put in time researching teams before submitting their brackets.
I throw one bracket in with Duke to win it every year, and then I will pick whoever I think is the hottest team in my other bracket.
Not everyone is a fan of sports, statistics, or studying the competition.
I have Gonzaga winning. I think I also have Kentucky. Sure. Sports are for everyone.
DeYoung's bracket is nationally ranked in the 78th percentile.
I knew that I either need to take Villanova or Gonzaga all the way because I remember last year one of the funny name schools won because I have a lot of friends who are into basketball, but I'm not a sports person myself, so.
Oh, you just guessed?
Yep, just a guess.
Though this is DeYoung's first time making a bracket,
She says after her performance this year, she might be tempted to participate again.
Yeah, if there's something to win, sure, why not?
The most maddening thing about this tournament, no matter your background, it's anyone's game. The NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship game wrapped up on Monday night with North Carolina beating Gonzaga 71-65. The University of North Dakota community is devastated after the school called for the elimination of 3 athletic programs. UND is cutting the women's hockey team and the men's and women's swimming and diving teams. President Mark Kennedy asked the athletic department to cut $1.3 million out of its budget. UND's athletic director Brian Faison says the cuts were the best thing to do for the long-term interests of the university. Cutting all 3 programs will save UND almost $3 million. The MSUM club baseball team season is in full swing, and they're looking to get out of the gym and onto the field. Reporter John Doss shows us how the team is getting ready for the elements.
After a long winter, members of the MSUM club baseball team are thinking spring. However, due to bad weather conditions, the team has been practicing indoors. Senior Austin Emdeek believes the team can still improve despite the setback.
While we're inside, we can still keep getting the mental reps and make sure that we're trying to get better every day. Seeing that live pitching in the cage helps a lot.
The Dragons bring back 3 seniors this season with hopes of good production from the new incoming players.
We got a couple young kids on the team that we're really looking forward to. Got some versatility, can play infield, can play outfield, can do a little pitching for us. So it'll be an interesting season.
Incoming freshman Jacob Jones is a part of this new class that looks to help the seniors reach a winning season.
I learned to play with the big boys and kind of try to be like them.
Since club sports aren't listed under MSUM athletics, the players have to spread the word about the team themselves to reach out to those who may be interested in joining the team.
Right away in the falls, we like to get around on campus and get on the campus mall and set up some stands and let students know.
As the weather begins to warm up, the team looks to move its practices outdoors to get a better feel of the actual tournaments they will be playing in this season. With photographer Tanner Robinson, John Doss, Campus News Sports.
The team will not be participating in an annual tournament in Florida this year, but they will play exhibition games against Concordia and Jamestown to fill the gap. The spring season for the MSUM women's rugby team is starting to take shape. With league game finishing up, the gears are switching to tournament play. Reporter Brendan Finger shows us how the team is preparing for the road ahead.
On the field where the football team is normally found, the MSUM women's rugby team took the field to practice out on the turf. Madeline Linder is a veteran member of the team, and she says being a part of a club sport has its benefits.
I'm really athletic in high school, so it's kind of fun to still be athletic out here in college.
Megan Vandermeulen is also a member of the club team. She says being a part of the team is enjoyable for her, and she has some advice for students who are hesitant about joining a club team at MSUM.
I'd say it's really good to make friends and be a part of a team. It's helpful to just maintain a social life. And then it's a really good experience. It keeps you fit, it keeps you active and doing good things.
Finding a balance between having fun and playing hard can sometimes be difficult. Linder says her team is able to find that balance.
It's kind of fun, but it's still competitive. We have games still, and our team's pretty good, so it's fun to be on a winning team.
As the team moves on from the official league season in the fall, they look ahead to the season filled with tournaments that the spring season brings. With photographer Martin Schlegel, Brendan Finger, Campus News Sports.
The women's rugby team will be holding their annual prom dress game tomorrow morning. You know, guys, I'm really excited to go to this tournament, with the prom dresses. It's so much fun.
I didn't even know you could use prom dresses like that.
Oh yeah, Ben. It's a whole process. They tape them up to keep them on when they get tackled. It's awesome.
Really? Cool.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Haley. The powwow, a culturally significant event, brought the traditional sounds of beating drums and the sights of Native American dance to MSUM to share their culture with the community.
Area tribes gathered to honor both veterans and the Native American way of life. Reporter Levi Lass brings us to the powwow circle where everyone is welcome.
Thundering drums shook the floors and walls of Nemzek Fieldhouse at MSUM as tribes from all around the region came to participate at the 28th annual Woodlands and High Plains Powwow.
So a powwow is a gathering that the American Indians have traditionally held as a ceremony, something that is very spiritual, ritual, but also has significance, importance in their daily lives.
The powwow's theme, Water is Life, reflected a common motif spoken by area tribes, echoing their opposition to oil lines being installed near Standing Rock Sioux tribal land. The grand entry began with the White Earth Nation veterans proudly flying flags as members of the Color Guard, followed by participants of all ages. The pounding of the drum even inspired those outside of the circle. For some, the powwow is a way of life.
And I'm carrying out the traditional way for my mother and my father, what they used to do when they were young. So I've been doing it for a long time.
With the sounds and sights rooted in deep cultural tradition, powwow etiquette dictates that no one here is a spectator. Walking in the door makes every attendee a participant of the event, whether they are dressed or not. Some say the ceremonial dance signifies a victorious war party's return home, while honoring those who were lost, and celebrating those who will dance again. With photographer Leah Backstrom, Levi Lass, Campus News.
The powwow attracted an impressive audience, bringing in as many as 2,500 participants. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at the Woodlands and High Plains powwow.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.